All right, from the previous video, we got that we had 6 over 12 minus x, which was the time upstream, plus 6 over 12 plus x, which was the time downstream, was equal to 16 over 15. Now, our least common multiple is 15. We'll multiply everything by 15, by 12 minus x, and by 12 plus x. 15 times 12 minus x times 12 plus x. And this side, I'm also going to multiply this by 15 by 12 minus x and by 12 plus x. Okay, on the first fraction, 12 minus x with 12 minus x cancel out. I have 6 times 15, that's 90. So 90 times 12 plus x. I'll deal with that in a minute. On my second one, 12 plus x with 12 plus x cancels out. This is positive 6 times 15. That's another 90 times 12 minus x. Now here, 15 with 15 cancel out. So I'm going to have 16 times 12 minus x times 12 plus x. Let's get rid of parentheses. Looking on the left, I'm going to go 90 times 12. That's going to give me 1080 plus 90x. Then I'm going to distribute the 90 on the second one. That's going to give me 1080 minus 90x equals. Before I look on the right side, before I start distributing, I see the parentheses 12 minus x, 12 plus x. That is basically 12 squared minus x squared. Yeah, that is basically the difference of the squares factored. I know 12 squared is 144. So technically what I have here it is 16 times 144 minus x squared. So I'm going to multiply the 16 to the inside. So technically I have 2,304 minus 16x squared. Now on the left side, I see 90x minus 90x. Cool, that cancels out. So I have 1080 plus 1080. That gives me 2,160 is equal to 2,304 minus 16x squared. Let me subtract 2,304. That gives me a negative 144 is equal to a negative 16x squared. Let me divide both sides by negative 16. I'm going to get the 9 is equal to x squared. Cool. X squared equals 9. If I do the square root on each side, I end up getting that x is equal to 3 and x equals negative 3. However, I remember my rates were, let me go here. You know, x is the rate. X equals 3. That means the rate, the river is going at 3 miles per hour, which is good. Now, x equals negative 3. That means the river is going negative 3 miles per hour. Like, it cannot go negative. So I'm not going to say x can be 3. I'm just going to say x is 3. So here it says find the speed of the current. I'm going to say it's 3 miles per hour. Let's do one more. It takes 2 carpet layers 4 hours to complete the job. So I see here time working together in my table. It takes them both 4 hours. If each worked alone, one of them could do the job in 1 hour less time than the other. So I'm going to say that the slow worker, his rate is x, because I don't know his rate. The other one is going to be, well, one job divided by x, and then the other one is going to be 1x minus 1. Like one job divided by x. Now the fractional part of the job done, basically I'm going to multiply rate times time, 1 over x times 4. The slow worker will do this in 4 over x. The faster worker will do 4 over x minus 1. Right? I multiply those two things out. Remember, these two is basically a job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add what each of them did. 4 over x plus 4x minus 1. And this is equal to one job. All right, let's multiply everything by x and by x minus 1. On my first fraction, the x's cancel out, so I'm going to have 4 times x minus 1. On the second fraction, x minus 1 cancels out, so I have 4 times x equals 1x, because I multiply these two, 1x times x minus 1. Let's get rid of parentheses. I have 4x minus 4 plus 4x is equal to x squared minus x. To simplify the left, I have 8x minus 4 equals x squared minus x. I'm going to move everything where the x is positive. The x squared is positive, I mean. So I have x squared minus 9x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now this cannot be factored. X squared, I cannot think of two numbers that multiplied equals 4, added equals to negative 9. It cannot factor. So I'm going to have to use the quadratic formula in this case. I remember that quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of boy square. He lost a chance with 4 awesome chicks. Everything was over at 2 a.m. We can see that my a is 1, my b is negative 9, my c is 4. So to do the discriminant first, I'm looking at negative 9 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4, all inside the square root. So I basically have 81 minus 16, all inside the square root. That is the square root of 65. Roughly, my calculator tells me is about 8.06. So to do the quadratic formula, I'm going to do negative b, so 9 plus or minus 8.06 all over 2. If I do the plus sign, 9 plus 8.06, which is 17.06, divided by 2, tells me x is roughly 8.53. If I do the minus sign, 8 minus 8.06, that's 1.06 divided by 2, it tells me x is roughly 0.53. I know on the rates, the faster worker, his rate was x minus 1. 0 minus x 0.53 minus 1 is going to give me a negative rate. The faster worker cannot be working at a negative rate. So I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to say the rate is 8.53. Now here it says how long will it take each carpet layered to complete the job alone. I know the rate, it was x, it was 1 over x, and then the faster worker was 1 over x minus 1. That was how the rates were. Now, one of them, it will take him 8.53 hours to do the job alone, the slower worker. The faster worker is going to